Hey guys, it's Timmy. This is Pro Wrestling Unlimited. So going into this week's Monday Night Raw, there was a lot of questions and even more questions coming out. We go into the Raw thinking, okay, well, these guys from NXT are backstage. How is this going to work? Then we come out of the Raw like, well, that was an interesting show. Again, these guys from NXT are here. How's this going to work? And all this other stuff that went down was kind of interesting as well, and Dave Meltzer talked about this on last night's Wrestling Observer Radio with some very interesting information. Now, as far as the NXT call-ups go, Ricochet, Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, and Aleister Black, he said that Vince McMahon last week came up with the idea to bring up more call-ups because he felt that the main roster was getting a little stale. Now here's the kicker with this. He didn't go to Triple H and say, who should we bring up? He actually asked somebody else that Meltzer wasn't sure who and said, tell me the top 4 guys in NXT. He told them. Vince was told these 4 guys. He said, bring them up. Triple H didn't even initially know that this was going to happen. Now, it looks like these guys are going to be working all 3 brands, Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. As far as the scripting for Monday Night Raw goes, it was actually supposed to be scripted all around Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins was supposed to be the main focal point of this show, but going into Monday, they found out that Seth was still not cleared to compete. Seth Rollins is dealing from a lower back injury, nothing that needs surgery, but something that needs to be healed up with time. Also, it looks like Triple H nixed a pretty interesting matchup, but for a good reason. Vince McMahon wanted to see just a great match on Raw and told them to book Ricochet versus Finn Balor. Triple H, though, countered that and actually got the match changed because he felt that Ricochet coming in was going to win because it was his first night on Raw, but Finn Balor should not be losing the night after he had just won the Intercontinental Championship. So all things considered, they did change that to the tag team match where Ricochet ended up teaming with Finn Balor. And finally, one of the big questions coming out of Raw is why did Ronda Rousey not just again face Ruby Riott with a title on the line, but face her in an 11.5-minute match? Meltzer goes on to state that initially this was supposed to be another squash match where Ronda Rousey would quickly beat Alexa Bliss. Once they changed the scripting up of the show and they figured out, whoa, we've got a lot of extra time here, where do we add it? They added it to the Rousey match. But then the thing here was they didn't think that Rousey versus Bliss going long would be good. So they felt Rousey versus Riott would be good because apparently Rousey is comfortable working with Ruby Riott over Alexa Bliss. So initially Ronda went into the day thinking that she was going to be working against Alexa Bliss, but then when she got there and everything was changed, she found out, whoa, wait, I'm working Ruby 2 nights in a row. Okay, so really they didn't have much time to plan this second match that went 10 times longer than the match they had the night before. So that's very interesting that they had more faith in Ruby Riott to have a longer match with Ronda Rousey than they did Alexa Bliss. And finally, the last thing, according to Dave Meltzer, he said that Vince McMahon did not show up to the building until about 1 p.m. local time, which is later than he normally does, and the script for Raw was not 100% completed until 30 minutes into Monday Night Raw. So that is some big information and kind of a little clarification on some of the things that we did see this past Monday on Monday Night Raw with the Ronda Rousey match, with the call-ups, with the way the show was scripted, and so forth. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below on all these kind of interesting tidbits regarding this week's Monday Night Raw. But that's going to do it for this episode. Remember to comment below, like and share this video, like us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, subscribe here on YouTube, and follow PWUnlimited.net for the latest in pro wrestling news.